मेरी शो हमेशा एजुकेशनल इन्फॉर्मेटिव मेरे गेस्ट इदां दे हुंदे ने जिन्हां दा टॉपिक
अकाल चैनल ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ ਨਵੀਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਦੀ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਨੂੰ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਨਾ ਭੁੱਲਣਾ
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਮਾਈ ਨੇਮ ਇਜ਼ ਪਾਲ ਜਾਲੀ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਲੇਟ ਸ਼ੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਐਵਰੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਸ਼ੋ ਅੱਜ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਸ਼ੋ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਪਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਖਾਸ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਐਂਡ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਾਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਹੈਗੇ ਵੈਰੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਫॉर द ਮੈਟ ਪਲੇਸ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਅੱਜ ਸ਼ੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਆਮ ਦ ਹੈਪੀਐਸਟ ਪਰਸਨ ਔਨ ਦਿਸ ਪਲੈਨਟ ਮੇਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਲਾਸਟ ਵੀਕ ਔਨ ਥਰਸਡੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੋਟੋ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਰਾਜੀਵ ਜਾਲੀ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਡਾਟਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ very proud parent. I'm so fortunate, I'm so privileged ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ couple ਨੂੰ blessings from around the globe ਮਿਲੀਆਂ ਨੇ normally ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇਦਾਰ ਲੋਕਲ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ UK ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ I had blessing come from New Zealand, Australia, Europe, Dubai ਵਿੱਚੋਂ Africa ਵਿੱਚੋਂ Canada, America and of course UK ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ I feel so what's the right word I'm lost for the word ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਆਇਆ ਮੈਂ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਪਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਤਾਂ the best way I thought was ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਲੈਸਿੰਗ ਭੇਜੀ ਆ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਗੋਜ਼ ਟੂ ਜੈਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਗੁੱਡੀ ਸੰਡੂ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੀ ਬਨੀਤਾ ਕੋ ਜੋ ਮੇਰੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦੀ ਹੌਸਪਿਟੈਲਿਟੀ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਦੇਖਭਾਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਦਿਸ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅਨਟੱਚੇਬਲ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ ਔਰ ਇਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅ ਵੰਡਰਫੁਲ ਵੈਡਿੰਗ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਾਂਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪਿਓ ਹੈਗਾ ਨੈਚੁਰਲੀ ਇਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਲਵਲੀ ਚਲੋ ਮੂਵਿੰਗ ਫੋਰਵਰਡ ਮੇਰੀ ਸ਼ੋ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨਲ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਟਿਵ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਉੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਸੋ ਵੀ ਮੇਕ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਦਾ ਰਾਈਟ ਪੀਪਲ ਕਮ ਇਨ ਐਂਡ ਟਾਕ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਇਟ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਟ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਗੈਸਟ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਾਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਲੈਫਟ ਨਾਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ PS ਸਰਬਜੀਤ ਡਾਲੀਵਾਲ then I got Avneet Kaur which is Abby Collins and in the end I got Navdeep Pearce. Thank you Ji very much for coming on the show really appreciate
and congratulations from myself and all of us
देखो मैं ऐसा भी मिल गया मैट प्लीज कॉल बी सो नाइस नो इट्स रियली ऑनर्ड वेरी प्रिविलेज बिकॉज नॉर्मली देयर आर हैंडफुल पीपल मैं जो नाम लेने लगे ना किसी का मिस हो गया तो मैं खराब काम हो जाएगा फिर थैंक यू वेरी मच एवरीबॉडी थैंक यू सो मच यू मेड मी फील सो प्राउड luckiest father for my son and my daughter-in-law Benita Kaur I give you my blessings and pray कि तुसी अच्छी लाइफ गुजारो happily together thank you जी right I think I will start with Sarabjit ਪਹਿਲਾਂ Sarabjit very important ਕਿ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ ਲੜਕਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਤ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਲੜਕੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ it's so difficult for them to break the barrier and join ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਫੋਰਸਿਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਰਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਫਿਰ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇਦਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਜਾਸਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਦੈਨ ਦਾ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ why did you join the police
So why I joined the police it was about over 22 years ago and I was just sat there one day with my parents and then I started talking about police work and my dad said to me why don't you join the police force
did he
yeah so my mum was sat there she discouraged me she didn't want me to join and my dad said put your application in see how it goes
so you had the family support all the time
not my mum. My dad was very supportive, even through the application and from the time that I got it as well. And then my mum got used to it. I think she was scared that I was going to, get into a bit of bother, thinking it was dangerous. But yeah, I'm quite strong anyway.
I'll jump the question. Just to scared, let me ask you the question. So the role here now, what's your?
So now I'm frontline policing. I'm the Safer Neighbourhood Team Sergeant, and I work in South East London.
So there is some kind of challenges and danger?
There's loads of challenges. Being in the police service, you come across loads of hurdles. I would say most of which are really good, that you get loads of challenges and it's the best job because every day you come into work, every day is going to be different. You get into your uniform and then you've got a bit of authority and it's driving the whole team through. We get a lot of people that start their careers and they've only got 6 months in their career and it's about taking them under your wings and making them go through each hurdle. Sometimes they might come across something that's easy, other times they've got case papers and it's trying to get them through bits and pieces, arrest inquiries, warrants. So we do quite a bit of stuff, so especially around safer neighbourhood teams. We deal with antisocial behaviour. So there's quite a bit going on, you know, on my ward where, you know, southeast London.
I can't ask you whether you love your job because you've been there for 22 years, so obviously you must like it.
I love it. I
Thank you.
absolutely love it.
Now, Abhi Collins, Abhi, well, same with you. Let's start with your role. What's your role with the Met Police?
Yeah, sure. So my role is I'm a civilian for the Metropolitan Police and I work in recruitment. So what I do is I predominantly go out and talk to communities and to let them know what the possibilities are within the Metropolitan Police. We want members of the public to know what we have to offer as an organisation. I'm sure with, you know, nowadays, I mean, from when I was young, we never had social media, we never had YouTube, we never even had the internet. So you can imagine how old I am, and I won't tell you how old I am.
How long will be the service now anyway?
Yeah, no.
I will do the calculations from there.
Yeah, so, I mean, and joining the Metropolitan Police has been an absolute privilege, an honour. I may not be frontline, but, you know, civilian staff roles are equally as important. And my role is to engage with the borough commanders, senior leadership team, and then also to engage with our communities, working very closely with our officers to talk about what we have to offer as an organisation, because there's a little bit of a myth and a stereotype where policing isn't looked at as a very good career. Where prospects nahi hage, it's not like a first choice for a career.
That's why you're here. We're going to talk about it anyway.
Yeah.
That'd be a good idea. You know, ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਰੋਲ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ because it's important to know. ਆਮੀ ਦੇ ਕਰੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ. It's not that they give you a gun ਕਿ they send you at the border ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ fight ਕਰੋ. There are some jobs ਤੁਸੀਂ office ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. Like Abhi Collins, recruitment they ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ. So obviously there's no danger involved. I'm sure you don't have to go out and face people, something like this.
I do go out and face people, so when we organise events, so I will work very closely with sergeants, inspectors, borough commanders. We have events with large-scale communities, so whether it be Southall Park or in the Gurdwara outside, you know, we talk to the community. It's not frightening. Everyone has their perception of policing and what they think it is. Our job is to give them an insight to say, look, come and talk to us. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And we want more people to engage with us. So they have an informative choice.
I'm going to have a lot of questions. They're quite straightforward and might be tough, but this is on behalf of the people.
Yeah.
I've been told to ask these questions because I always tell them who my guest's going to be. Before we go any further, I'm going to talk to Navdeep Pearce. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. Ladies didn't have said enough. So what you got to say? What's your role, by the way?
Well, I'll be precise and concise in that respect then. So basically I'm a police sergeant and I've been with the organisation now since 2003. And currently I work as a learning and development coordinator for the West area, which comprises of Hounslow, Hillingdon and Ealing boroughs. And effectively my job is very closely linked with what Avi does. So Avi looks after them from signing them up to getting them into university, etc. And then when they are in week 20 of their journey, that's when we take over, where I would take over and oversee their developmental journey. Now, one of the things which I heard earlier on is this comment where, especially when previous generations will say, oh, polisi nokri hai, miya in the kamma, etc., etc. Part of what the organisation has done is we've actually professionalised the career as it is, because now all new recruits will actually get a degree out of it. So if you don't have a degree, you're an undergraduate, one of the benefits straight away is that you will get a degree at the end, which is a BSc in professional policing, and it's fully funded as well, so you don't have to worry about university fees. You
know, when did you actually, most important, know that because this is the show for you people sitting at home. You know, you're never young to decide what you want to do.
No.
I said, when we were my time, we were totally lost. No career advice, parents, even this is Dr. Vakil Ban, ye ban, wo ban. Nothing like that, you know. I remember many times I told my mom I want to go to the army. I had a captain, my cousin, working in the Indian Army. And we didn't have a dinner that night. My mother was crying whole evening, you know that. And I said, oh shit, okay, you know, because you can't upset the parents. I missed out on a lot of these opportunities. When did you decide, when this penny dropped in your head, thinking I want to be a police officer?
Right, so going back all those years, for me, it was because I was heavily involved in youth groups and volunteer work, working at the Gurdwara, doing Sikhi camps and working with schools. I really want to be closely involved.
But what made you do that? I'm trying to scrutinize, how does this all happen? Because you see, you want to do everything. You're so confused.
Yeah. For me, it was an opportunity to do seva. The concept of seva is very, very close to my heart. And the way I see it, being a police officer gives you that opportunity to do janta seva.
Well, the community services anyway. But,
Effectively. And ours is very, very unique in that we will help people when they are at their most of need, right? When they're at their lowest, when they're their most vulnerable, thank you. And to assist someone who is really crying help and be able to do something about it there and then, for me, it's very, very rewarding. And that's a big drive as to why I do this job today and continue to enjoy doing that job today, because it's about making that difference to that individual that needs your help and assistance, and making sure that all Londoners across all communities feel safe and have trust and confidence in us as a service.
The Akaal Channel, because I have to talk about the Akaal Channel, the #1 channel in the UK, which worldwide, 157 countries, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, America, Europe, all over we go. 1.5 million people watch us every program, jo interesting hunda. Apne bachchiyan nu dikhao. I've got 3 police officers here, we're going to ask them questions on your behalf. Kyun thode bachche join kar, because I'm sure you think, agree, politics, the forces, British, we lack that at the moment. Why we lack that? I'm going to ask you one question, one by one. Would you encourage Asian community to join, girls and boys, the Met Police Force? And why would you? And how would you do it? What encouragement can you give?
So the encouragement I would give is I would encourage the parents to encourage your children, just like my parents did. For me, we need to be saying, serve our communities. It's not just serving anybody. We also need to be serving our communities. Our work isn't just about bringing people that are bad to justice. It's people that need our help as well. People that are vulnerable, people that need our help. It could be anybody that's locked in a house sometimes. It could be somebody suffering from mental health. We're there for you. We need to encourage, the next generation from us to say, apne bachchiyan nu dasso ke please nu tusi join karo. It's a brilliant job. There's so much. It's rewarding. It is. I wouldn't say it's really hard to get into or anything like that. It is a rewarding job. Every day is a different job, and you need to be encouraging your children, because how are we going to serve our communities? We need to be serving our communities, and the only way we can do that is by recruiting people that are, it doesn't matter where you come from, Indian, English people, we need to be serving our communities, and it's vital that we get BAME people into the service as much as we can.
Before I ask Abby Collins, I'll be asking the same question, both important, that this is not my personal, it's the public view. Discrimination in-house and outside, was there any time you felt, you made a wrong decision and you could not face it? Are there big challenges, or there is not much of it that quite easily you can slide in and blend in with the rest of the client?
Yeah, there's always help. So in your career path, if you have any problems, there's, we've got the National Sikh Association, we've got the Metropolitan Sikh Association, so we're like a big team. And if there's any issues around for anybody, like, once they're in the police force, we are there. You've got the Federation, we're quite supportive, and we are one big family. We look after each other, and that's what we're there for. And now, I think, you've got senior officers as well. Now they're realising that, we need to be together, and that's the only way we can work.
Abby Collins, I think she's the right person to answer the question. Recruitment, she's the one who takes people in, encourage kar diya apni, especially Asian community nu. To see, there's a lack of entries into the police force at the moment. our bache are not interested. You being in the recruitment, were you able to find out statistics ke kyun nahi bache aande? Is there a lack of what's the right word? Lack of thodi publicity ke tusi encourage nahi karde ke, you know, एक बड़ी वड्डी गल है कि I feel bad कि you know why should we force our children के तुसी आ करो ओ करो. We are here to suggest you and give you the good and bad points. हर चीज़ good and bad होता है. You know कोई भी कुछ जॉब हैगा बैंक कर लो कितने भी तुसी जॉब कर लो. There are going to be some problems. Everywhere there's some problems. This is how you face them. You stand up and you get promotion. You get a big guy. हुन तुसी किस तरह what do you do? Workshop वगैरह कितना लोगों को because you're the right person to say something so that people think hang on a minute Abby said something good, I think I need to go to give them a call.
Yeah, no, so working very closely with officers from all different backgrounds I think is really important. As an organisation, I know when I was younger I didn't think automatically, oh, let me go and have a look and see what the Metropolitan Police have to offer around career-wise, salary, because that's what we're taught from a very young age. कि नौकरी अच्छी होए, अपने पैसे कमाओ, अपनी रोटी खाओ, ते नाले सेवा करो, and that's what we've all done. But we've chosen to work for the Metropolitan Police to give that back to our community. Bame Indian hon, ya Muslim,
Anybody.
You know, everybody, all communities. We don't differentiate. My big ask is now, especially with the way that the Metropolitan Police has changed so much from 25, 30 years ago, that's not what policing is about, because look how many different diverse communities we have in London. You know, 270 languages are spoken, we have so many different nationalities, and in order for us to be inclusive and diverse, we need people to come into the organisation to make that cultural change, to say, look, you know, for example, if we want to go and help किसी दी मदद करनी है, पावे अपने माँ प्यो हों, जो भी like family member हों, sometimes a member of the public feels more comfortable relating to somebody who looks and feels like us, who can speak Punjabi, speak that language, and that's why we're all going to retire one day, we will all leave. But the point is, the next generation, we don't want to force you, but we want you to understand that there is such a big career in policing. You can either move through the ranks or you can move laterally. There's different strands that you can go into. It's completely changed, and there's loads of opportunities that are available. No, did you want to add on to that
absolutely.
as well?
Now, I mean, going back to your original point, Baji, where you said, would I encourage young people to join the job? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And why would I do that? Is simply because we are still underrepresented. When it comes to, you know, you look at our communities, right? We want to make sure that we have an organisation which is truly representative of the community it serves, which is why the Mayor has an action plan whereby we want to uplift the numbers of underrepresented communities in the police force. Because like what Avi says, if we got officers who are from the community, they are then able to better understand and appreciate the community issues and be able to more effectively problem solve those issues as well. So absolutely, 100% I would advocate joining the police to these young people as well. And if they think, oh no, it's a dead-end job. No, it's not a dead-end job. So we are the biggest employer in London.
Absolutely.
Yeah, number one. And number two, the career prospects are, no other job will offer it to you. And number three, like I said, it's now professionalised. You get a degree out of it as well, free of charge. I can't think off the top of my head any other organisation that will say to you, come and join us at the age of 18. We will pay you
a salary
up to £30,000 starting, and we will give you a degree out of it as
at
well.
the end of it.
That's very well said.
Yeah.
कोई भी firm थोनू नहीं पे कहेगी कि सारे पैसा के काम करो कि तुम पे करांगे.
Yeah.
This is very clever. बहुत अच्छी तुसी गल कही है. You're the only one who would say these things कि तुसी come and work for us. There are jobs all the time, different kind of jobs. Obviously like सकते हो तुसी किसी भी तरह का job हैगा. क्योंकि अगर तुसी बाहर स्ट्रीटें भी हैगे हो, okay, you know, मैं थोड़ा rephrase करूँगा. तुसी कहने हो it's a dirty job. People look down at it. I look at the other way. You know, when I see a police officer, maybe my next door neighbor, or I see an Asian guy walking in the street with a uniform, I feel so proud. Because one thing I must make it clear, जितना तुसी क्या क्योंकि कोई भी चाहता है, Hindu, Sikh, Muslim, anybody.
Yeah.
As long as Asian are going to unify, I feel so proud. कि सादा बंदा, I will call them सादा बंदा.
Yeah.
कि देखो गोरियां दे नाल खड़ा होके ना whatever position to see sergeant ban gaye ho, to see commander ban gaye ho. Yeah, it's just such a proud moment. And this is what I do on my channel. I bring them on to show your success with the worldwide people. कि देखो साडी generation community है UK की कर दी है, we are far behind in these kind of things and in the politics. That's my show करता हूँ. ये ना मैं बड़ा keen हूँ ना कि please अपने बच्चों को encourage करो. पहला तो उन्होंने तुसी चैनल दिखाना शुरू करो, अकाल चैनल. मैं नहीं कहता कि मेरा सारे ने बेस्ट शो होंदा, but it's the best in a way because I'm थोड़े बच्चों का future बनाने मैं कोशिश करता है, which I didn't have it, you know. मेरे फादर में कहते, मैं तो एक जोक दसदा है, very interesting. मेरे फादर कहता पुत्र मेरे पास पैसे आएगा तू पढ़ ला. In a way of saying, don't worry about the money. मैं सोचा तेरे पास पैसे आएगा तो मैं पढ़ के की करना है. You know, why do you need to worry? Because I'm going to inherit all that. You know, at that we look at the thinking again, and I'm sure this is the thinking out there of the businessmen. Unade bacha they have expensive cars, they have expensive lifestyle. Why do you want to go work on the place? I mean, what do you do to change this style? What do you attitude look at the bacha?
Well, what we do is we go out and we talk to, so for example, Nav mentioned about working with youth clubs, gurdwaras, where our youth go out today. We also have events that we put on. We put workshops on, training to say, come and meet us, come and talk to us. We will support you through all of your training and all your development. So initially I will do the recruitment. They will talk to me. I will prepare them for any assessments, any modules that they will have to go through. Once they've gone through all of that, they go to university, and from university then they will come onto a basic command unit. It could be in mine where I work in Camden and Islington, or it could be, for example, in Westminster, Hammersmith, Kensington. So it's all within the M25. But the encouragement is that, you know, we are here to support you. Your support will also carry on once you get the job as well. You know, we talk about the National Sikh Association. We've also got the Sikh Staff Association, where we hold workshops internally to look at career development for Apane who want to move on within the Metropolitan Police. So there's lots of opportunities that are available, but we want you to come and talk to us.
Just a thought, when you workshop karte ho ya tusi open day karte ho, majority you will expect tusi recruitment karni hai ki bachche aan ko ladke ho ladke aan wap. Don't you think the parents should come as well, because those are the ones who actually give them a push?
100%.
Might sound funny, but the parents should be there as well. ताकि उन्होंने feel हो कि हाँ मैं बच्चे ने encourage करूँ, like another parents ने क्या सीखा?
Yeah, 100%. So what we do is give us the information on that. We put it on Facebook, we put it on Twitter, we advertise, give us what we're going to be doing. The idea is that also as well we have leaflets and flyers that we might put in through people's front doors to say, look, on such and such a date, we will be here, come and talk to us. Because don't forget, to join the Metropolitan Police, it's not just about the youth as well, but it also career changes. So for example, if you're in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, the age limit is from 18 to 57. So your training will be exactly the same. It's just that we look to see that, you know, there's a certain level of fitness, but we talk to people about that, any background checks that we do and things like that. But you are absolutely right. It's about talking to the parents and to the next generation together, if possible.
I'm going to talk about the education-wise level, the fitness, which is a key requirement, salary, benefit, because 2 minutes break this, I don't want to start and then break it and go after the break. और मेरे थोड़े बहुत tough question है which on behalf of people जिन्होंने सानू feedback देंदे रहे on the behavior or the attitude of the Met Police. Some people are very happy with it, but some people have a lot of complaints. मैं openly उन्होंने सवाल पूछूंगा, so whoever wants to answer they can answer me. Please keep watching. बहुत important है अपने बच्चों ने encourage. देखो अकाल चैनल कोशिश कर रही है कि असी साढ़े नंबर बदलने चाहिए, ज़रूर बदलने चाहिए. We need to work hard, and I'm playing this part here. And then like a guest room from the Met Police, you can hear from them. Somebody surges out on the force, on the street, working hard, facing all the challenges, recruitment, and you're the same, with both recruitment challenge. You know?
When you're talking about disparity and people feeling segregated, we always encourage our members to speak to us early on so we can deal with it at the lowest possible level. We don't want you to suffer in silence. We will always encourage any members who join our staff association or the Metropolitan Police that if you're suffering any issues is to speak up sooner rather than later, rather than letting things spiral out of control. But we can go about that a bit more detail.
देखो जब तुसी ना यूनिफॉर्म पाने हो और ना भी पाई होवे ना, you're carrying a big responsibility on your behavior, your attitude, because the सारा change होता है. You've got to be like a role model. And same thing with us, lot ਅਸੀਂ present ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ show, we present the Akaal Channel to the people, ਆਪਣੀ community ਨੂੰ represent ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. I cannot be seen with an attitude or misbehaving on the street, because these are very important to set an example as a role model, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੇ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰਨ. बड़े इंपॉर्टेंट शो मैं थोड़े पास लेके आना, बड़ा हार्ड वर्क होंगे. These people are very busy, it's very difficult to, in fact I'm not wrong, it's few months since I've been chasing you to come down onto the show. Eventually it's happened. There I, Drust I, थोड़े फैसले, it's all for you, people sitting at home. Please ध्यान नाल प्रोग्राम देखो. जे बच्चे थोड़े नहीं देखते, YouTube पर होएगा, तुसी उन्होंने कहो कि तुसी watch करो, उन्होंने encourage करो. असी छोटी सी break लवांगे, please don't go too far. थोड़े क्वेश्चन तो पूछ के मैं हर तरह दे नाल गलबात करेंगे. सत श्री अकाल जी.
ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ ਨਵੀਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਦੀ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਨੂੰ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਨਾ ਭੁੱਲਣਾ.
Welcome back in the second part. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ got officers from the mud place. बड़ा अच्छा सी टॉपिक आ रहा है रिक्रूटमेंट. प्लीज़ अपने बच्चों को वॉच करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. We make lot of effort to bring these people onto the show. They're busy. It takes months and months before ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਨੂੰ ਐਕਸੀਕਿਊਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਤਾਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਖਰ ਤੱਕ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਔਰ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟ ਅੱਛਾ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਦੇਵਰ ਲੋਟ ਆਫ ਪੀਪਲ ਹੂ ਹੈਵ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਰੈਂਕ ਇਨ ਐਂਡ ਸ਼ੋਨ ਸਮ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ. ਤੇ ਚਲੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਹੁਣ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਭੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗਾ ਯੂ ਨੋ ਦੀ ਪਲੇਸਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ this is all for you to know. ਘਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਮਿਲਿਆ. You don't have to dial any number, you don't have to go through any website. Just tune into Sky 770, you get all the information you need. अगर कोई भी सवाल होगा तो उसे रिंग करके पता कर सकते हो. यदि एजुकेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट की है how much what you need to be to apply before you apply that?
So coming into policing, we ask for a minimum grade C in English. So grade C is probably old school, which will be now a level 4 to 9, equivalent to a level 4 to 9 or grade C in English. We do ask for you to have the maths, but if you don't have the maths, you don't have to worry about it because we will help you with that. And 64 UCAS points, so that we know that, you know, people finish school and they go on into further education, so they must have the 64 UCAS points, but we can give you all of that information. So that's the minimum requirement that we require for you to come into policing.
Baki, what other things you see, like if I talk about the fitness, I remember years ago, I'm talking like, 60s, 70s, you really had to be a certain height and you have to be a fit. Aren't they different? Because with due respect, I see some of the police officers very little. And I think, oh, how is he going to manage me, you know?
The little ones are the most, the fiery ones,
So let me get into that. So all this notion about, oh, you've got to be, you know,
6 feet or something.
6 feet plus, etc., etc., that's all gone out the window. Because as Avi has alluded, you know, you've got some people who are 5 foot, what have you, who are very, very capable of dealing with a confrontational situation. Believe you me, I can speak about colleagues who, when you look at them, they are very easy to underestimate, and then they're the ones who you want when it's all going wrong. But in terms of fitness test and the requirements, what the Metropolitan Police do is that we hold what is called a Bleep Test, and you have to achieve a minimum of level 5.4. That is all people have to worry about. So please don't think to yourselves, oh, I have to go for a proper training regime and start doing, you know, military style, you know, athletics, etc., etc. The minimum standard is you have to reach a level 5.4 on the Bleep Test, and if you can achieve that, then you have effectively passed the fitness element of the test.
How long is the training?
Just to give you an idea, the training, so when you start actually, when you officially are inducted within the Metropolitan Police, your training will be for 17 weeks at a university. So that is your academic training, and then you will go on to what we call a basic command unit. So for example, I work for Camden and Islington, which is Central North. That's one basic command unit. So where Navdeep was saying earlier on, he works for the basic command unit, which is the West area, which is like Hillingdon, Ealing and Hounslow. That's right. So with regards to, just wanted to go back to the Bleep Test, if you measure out, like for example, 15 meters, okay, we're not asking you to sprint from one side of the room to the other. We're asking you to be able to jog at a reasonable pace. So we don't expect anyone to be like a marathon runner, but you need to obviously be able to look after
Some kind of
yourself
fitness, of course.
before you can go out and look after another member of the public. Because as an employer and an organisation, we have a duty of care to make sure that, you know, you can look after yourself before you're going to look after somebody else. So don't worry too much about the bleep test, because we will help you train for that and give you the information.
Making much easier for you कि तुसी की करना होगा please.
Yeah.
मैं उम्मीद रखदा कि तुसी show तो बाद you'll pick up the phone. मैं वही सवाल पूछूंगा उन Avina because she recruitment देगी है. What would one need to do? मेरा show देख के what's the first step they should do? How can they contact you? Is it through the telephone or is the website?
It will be through the website. So we have a careers website, which I'll give the address to you that you can put on the show. And basically what you do is you go onto our website and you will have to make an actual application form. And then, you know, people can keep in touch with me as well. I will monitor that to see how far people go through the process, and we can keep in touch with them to see how they're doing.
Remind me again what areas you look into to the particular recruitment lay. What area you cover?
So I particularly cover Camden and Islington, where I am, but
Okay.
we're recruiting for inside of London.
Inside of London.
Yeah, inside of London. So we have 12 basic command units. We have vacancies everywhere. There's not a time limit. So for example, this vacancy is only available, or this degree apprenticeship program is only available for 3 months. This is it. This is ongoing now.
I think I couldn't wait to show you and share Sarabjit the achievement when she studied the force. This is 22 years ago. She's not telling me her age, but have a look at the photographs. You'll be able to assess from there. Oh my God, this is Sarabjit. Oh my God, looks so new. Such a baby face, isn't it? Hey?
That's the day I passed out at Hendon. So yeah, roughly just over 22 years ago now. And that's where I got a commendation for going into a burning building. Yeah, there we go. There's that one. And then I got one from the Royal Humane Society. That was part of going into the burning building and saving lives of three gentlemen.
How do your parents feel? Obviously, they must be very proud. You know, beginning, you had a sport right from the beginning.
Yeah.
But you know, I personally tell you, you know, when you wear a uniform, through the attitude, the way you walk, the way you stand, you know, it's totally different because you're presenting the force to society. And you're a role model. You can't be just like relaxing on a pillar or you sit down on the couch somewhere, you know. You need to be like alert and standing all the time. Like the bobbies are.
Yeah.
Remember the bobbies in olden days?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Very stiff.
I think what you need to remember is that there's a certain you said about attitude, and you know, you can't be, you know, you have to be stiff all the time. It's not about being stiff all the time, it's a perception. So yes, you are representing the Metropolitan Police, you know, we police by public consent, but we don't want you to leave your personality at the door. So whoever you are, whatever background you are from, whatever your personality is, you bring that to work with
Very
you.
nice. Very well
You know,
said.
you bring that to work with you. Because you wear the uniform, there's a certain professional standard that we have that you adhere to, because that is policing. But at the same time, if a little child, saying, hello, Mr. Policeman, Mr. Policewoman, you don't say, no, I'm not going to talk to you. You engage with that little child and you say to them, hi, yes, I'm a police officer.
You take that fear away from a child.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
yeah.
100%.
One of my pet hates really is, you know, when the parent says, you better behave yourself, otherwise the policeman's going to arrest you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Please, no, yeah, we're here to help these young people, encourage them to speak to us, etc. Because yes, शुरू तो तुसी वो बच्चे नु डराते, फिर वो तो सोचेगा यार ना मैं तो पुलिस वाले मैं गल भी नहीं करना.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'll give you an example. My team and myself went into a nursery the other day, and the manager had told us, she said there's a couple of children that are very frightened of the police because their parents, some of them have had a bad experience, their parents have been taken away. And I said, that's okay, you leave it with us. And we went in, the team went in, I spoke to the children, and they don't use the word naughty, they use the word bad. So when I was talking, I said, oh, who's been naughty? And the kids just looked up to me and they got a bit scared. And then we started engaging with the children, and I said, look, we don't just take people away, we speak to members of the community, and we speak to children. We go into schools, we talk to children, trying to get them to become police officers. And today, when I went to the nursery, the teacher told me, she said, you've changed the perception of all the children.
Yeah.
All the children, it doesn't matter what age. I mean, these are children from 2 to 4 years. Totally changed the perception, and they actually gave me a card as well from all the children and from the nursery, just to say thank you, you know, for me and my team. And that's what we need to be doing, starting off at a young age and getting all the children involved, from nursery to school to further education, and we need people to join the police force.
You know, Navdeep, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ about the ਬੱਚੇ, you always put in a fair ਕਿ ਜੇ ਬੱਚਾ ਕੋਈ ਗਲਤੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦਾ, you know, this is one concept ਅਸੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ fear ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦਾ, and they're far from thinking ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਂ police force join ਕਰਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਾਂ. ਹੁਣ I'm going to talk on the same subject ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ. This is the experience and the feedback from the people. It's found, it's known fact ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ police ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ, you go very heavy-handed. ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਐਮਰਜੈਂਸੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਡਿਪੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਔਨ ਦ ਕੈਟੇਗਰੀ ਆਫ ਦ ਕਾਲ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਹਦੀ ਸਿਵਿਰਿਟੀ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਇਨ ਆਲ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਔਰ ਪੀਪਲ ਟੈਲ ਮੀ ਦੈਟ ਕਿ ਯੂ ਗੋ ਵੈਰੀ ਹੈਵੀ ਹੈਂਡਡ even on the minor incidents. Aggressive ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ, and that ਦੂਸਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ question, you can answer both at the same time. Do you find that people are not connecting with you, that you're not able to do the community service to gain the faith and the trust in the Met Police?
I hear exactly what you're saying, Baji, and I appreciate that. Sometimes that can be the perception. I totally agree. But at the same time, what members of the public aren't necessarily going to be privy to the information that we have. And your typical bone of contention amongst the communities is going to be your stop and search, right? Now, and we explain and run workshops with young people around stop and search as well. And we get them thinking in terms of, why do police do stop and search? What is the reasoning? What sort of things? If you're going to be told, okay, Judge, I'm going to stop and search you, what things do you, as a young person, would like to know why the police is stopping and searching you? Well, first and foremost, I want to know the reason. Yeah, at the very least, why are you stopping me? Just by communicating and explaining makes a big difference. Communication is key. And then explaining what they're looking for, etc., etc., etc. And there's a minimum set of information that we as police officers have to go through with an individual, and we'll I'll cover that in a minute. But what you have to appreciate is that sometimes we have to think about risk management, and if we receive information that there's a particular individual with a particular description who's got a knife or some sort of a weapon, we sometimes have to be proactive and take that robust approach.
I totally agree with that, yes. Yeah.
Because the risk of doing nothing, if that individual does have a knife and we don't get a grip of it, is that they could seriously injure or kill someone, and then the criticism will be on us again to say, you received information that individual had a knife, what did you do about it? So I would rather, if someone told me, officer, that individual's got a knife or a weapon or something, I would more than happily go up to that individual, get my handcuffs and control and contain that risk and get the complaint afterwards, rather than letting that risk go and then subsequently that individual do something unthinkable which will affect.
That's a very good defense you put in. I wouldn't say defense, this is a fair statement you made. This is the feedback I'm getting from people. The incidents the people actually have, I would say, suffered through the police hands, the way they actually acted on the scene at the moment. There was another incident, not naming the people and the place, and a drunken guy was lying on the road, and the police came in and they blocked the traffic totally from both sides, and they started dealing with that incident.
Right.
Now, was there necessity to do all that?
Okay.
So from what I hear you saying is you had a drunken individual
Yeah.
in the middle of a road.
No, on the footpath.
On the footpath.
But the police officers blocked the road totally, and you couldn't have said nothing at all. And furthermore, the guy behind the police car sat there for a few minutes thinking, two lady officers will deal with the incident and will open the road and people can move in. Nothing happened. He hooted. The police officer came and had a go at this guy.
Right.
I think,
Okay.
sorry, if I can just answer
Sure.
that question.
Yeah.
What normally happens, again, like Nav was saying, it depends on the information that you've got.
Yeah.
We're not just going to stop a road just because somebody's on the pavement. There's got to be a little bit more of an element to that. So we might have more information that you're not privy to. Again, it might be, he might have stab wounds or anything like that. He might be injured. So sometimes it might be a crime scene. So if it's a crime scene, then we have to shut the road because that is your scene and we need to preserve that.
Sooner
So
rather
it's-
than later.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We call it the golden hour. So within the hour, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
One thing I can tell you, it's not the survey I did, it's the feedback I get. People have lost confidence in the police. There is not much trust in there. What I feel is, you say you do the community service. I feel you have failed there to gain the confidence of the people. Would you agree with me? I don't know who you are.
Right. In
we'll all answer
response to that question, one of the foundations around the Metropolitan Police and what we do is building and maintaining trust and confidence in the communities that we serve. Because our number one job is to protect Londoners. That is our job.
Yep.
And it is vital that we work and continue to work with our communities, which is why we have independent advisory groups, which is why we link in with the communities, which is why we are looking at uplifting underrepresented communities so that we are more representative and cohesive with that community element as well. So yes, I will agree with you in part that when it comes to trust and confidence, we need to work
Absolutely.
towards it, but at the same time we are alive to that fact. That is something that we're going to work, that we need to work towards, and we're continuing to work towards it. Trust and confidence in the community, because ultimately we are the Metropolitan Police Service. We are part and parcel of London's community, and if we can't get that right, then we're not going to be doing a good job. So it's vitally important that we engage, and that's what we're continuing to do, hence why we're here today with you, Baji. And it's something that we will listen to the communities. If we're doing something wrong, then we want to listen to the community with regards to working towards a solution so that they will have trust and confidence in us. And we will always listen to criticism and take it on board constructively and work towards solutions.
Do you remember the days when Bobby used to walk around the streets, local areas, and talk to the mothers and the children? And this is how you build the confidence. This is how you bring the kids along and have a trust, not interfere from the police officer. Then, recent years, you would see 2 police officers walking the street, on the broadways, on the high streets. That's nothing now. Now, is this because you have short staff, undercut?
Right,
And
can I pick
I
that
remember
one
at
up
the
now?
time of the mayor
Yeah.
elections, and they were all saying that they're going to be putting another 40,000 police officers on the street.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Eventually, you haven't seen them.
Yeah, so at the moment what is happening is that we are recruiting. There isn't a set number, but what we want to do is we want to have that uplift in our policing, in our frontline officers. Yes, okay, we don't have exactly a number. We are short on staff, but that's not why we're doing what we're doing. What we are also wanting to do, what Nav was saying around the whole educating and working with the communities, we need the communities to work with us as well. So that's why we're here today. This is a start, working with the Akaal Channel. Saab was mentioning about going into schools. I work with colleges, universities to talk about what we have to offer, because if members of the public don't know what we have to offer, they will not consider a career within policing. And policing isn't just about protecting members of the public. That's a really, really big part of what we do, but there's more involved in that as well. And in relation to, with regards to staffing, yes, we do need more staff. We need more people to come forward, but there is a process in place. So we do have people that apply. What will happen is that you'll go through an application stage, then you'll go through what we call the vetting. We talked about the Bleep Test and things like that. So it's not that we are not getting people applying, they are, but it might be that sometimes, for example, they might not get through the process, and it's not easy coming into policing. I would be lying if I said to you that, oh yeah, you know, all you have to do is just do an application form and you can start working for the police. No, the reason for that is because of the intel that you will see and hear. But we will help you and we will support you to get to where we need to.
The other thing I see that police officers, I would say they're not friendly, but they could be friendly depending on the attitude of the police officer.
Yeah.
They're all different anyway. You don't have time to talk to people now because are you too busy with what you're dealing with? I've seen that there's a lack of that at the moment. Walking on the street to talk to someone, maybe somebody wants to ask you some questions. I don't see that happening very often.
I hear what you're saying, and when it comes to frontline policing, there are two main strands. You have your emergency response policing and you have your neighbourhood policing. Now, emergency response policing, I can tell you straight up that, you know, they are stretched to the limit because they are dealing with all the emergency calls,
I can imagine.
left, right and centre. So your typical day as, like, for example, your police sergeant, you'd come in and you look at the screen and there are 30 calls outstanding, ranging from serious violence, serious disorder, antisocial behaviour, drug usage, etc., etc. And from the sergeant's point of view, the supervisor's point of view, is that going through that list and identifying which one carries the most risk, and then assigning your limited resources to dealing with those risk factors. And unfortunately, the stuff which is lower level ends up being delayed. Now, when it comes to policing engagement, we still have safer neighbourhood teams, and safer neighbourhood teams get involved with ward panels, and ward panels are made up of members of a community who effectively direct the police by giving them ward promises and ward priorities. So, say for example yourself, if you're familiar with the Southall area and you know full fact that I'm a resident, I've been here for 20, 30, 40 plus years, I know Southall like the back of my hand, I know what the problem areas are. As a resident, you can become a member of that ward panel and you can actually tell the police, look, these are the problem areas, these are the issues that need to be identified. Can you do something about it? And this is where your police officers from that safer neighbourhood team will be like, you know what, excellent, thank you very much, and take all that useful information on board and deal with the problem. Because it's a two-way street. Community engagement.
It's about educating and training each other. So we're sitting here talking about policing, fantastic career. This is what we have to offer you. We will help you with the training, etc. We need the community to help us around, you know, the education and the training side of what's going on where. And also, for example, if there is an event within the community, we will come out and support them. So.
Okay, you know, I pick up things when you talk, every one of you. One thing you said which just caught me, touched my heart. Okay, bring your personality. I really like that. You know, if I've always wanted to be a police officer, now other people are going to love me, they're going to hate me because I have a zero tolerance. And I could be very tough at the time. So it would be nice to bring your personality, but then it's give and take both sides. But there isn't a give and take because the law is the law. If somebody done something wrong, it got to be punished, it got to be charged, whatever you need to do. I mean, time is running so fast. I think I'll give you like 30 seconds each. Pehla tusi, I think you can start because you're the most important, well, the all important, recruitment that tusi important. No? Look at the camera, what message would you give? Why should they join the Met Police?
Okay. And I'll say this in Punjabi now. So, ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੱਲ ਦੱਸਣ ਲਈ ਕਿ ਬਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਮੋਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੈਟਰੋਪੋਲੀਟਨ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਮਝੋ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਨਾਲੇ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਆਓਗੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਓ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੋ and be a part of that cultural change and make a difference and the fantastic career opportunity that you will have if you work hard at any job trust me you will have a career.
एक बहुत important girl, I must say that, I'll be asking questions, I don't know any one of them can answer me. And then the Sikh Association we here within the Met Police Beach. So this is for your help. किसी तरह the you know उन्होंने organization रखे within the force किधर the issue है they can be dealt with accordingly at the different offices. Tell me a little bit about the Sikh Association. Why did you form it and what does it do?
Right, so we've got two running. So we've got the Metropolitan Police Sikh Association and the National Sikh Police Association, and really it is a network for all of our members who are Sikh to join and effectively network. It is a support network for our members so that not only do we get support in, you know, our career development and everything else, but also to make us aware that you're not on your own, because sometimes when you join and you are from a minority community, sometimes you do feel that you're on your own. Whereas you're given that opportunity to network, you will flourish, but through the different support networks. And sometimes, if you're on your own, you'll just get that support.
Sarabjit, 30 seconds. I'd like you to say something.
Well, I would encourage everybody to join, and if you've got a perception of the police, put it to the side. You know, the best perception you're going to have now is join our communities, join our police force, so we can serve our communities and be better for the future, because this is what we need. You know, we need you to join, and we can change everything about policing. It's vital that we do that, and we can only do that together.
ਅੱਜ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਫਸਟ ਸ਼ੋ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਜਸਟ ਬੇਸਿਕ ਟਾਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਵਾਈ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਯੂ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਦ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਐਂਡ ਰਿਕਰੂਟਮੈਂਟ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਅਤੇ ਸ਼ੋਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ ਵਿਦ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਆਈਡੀਆਜ਼ ਵਿਦ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਮਸਟ ਟਿਊਨ ਇਨ ਟੂ ਦ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦਾ ਵੇਟ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਐਂਡ ਇਨ ਦੀ ਐਂਡ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਫॉर ਕਮਿੰਗ ਇਨ I really appreciate and ਉਮੀਦ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਕਿ you're going to bring some more information for the people to get interested and join in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And in the end, I thank everyone. उम्मीद रखता कि थोड़ी शो अच्छा लगेगा. Please अपनी feedback हमेशा दिया करो because this is how I can improve my show. अच्छा बुरा भी होवे. I don't think कि criticism is bad. That makes me stronger. I want to put it right. In the end, मैं जिन्ना ने भी मैंने blessing दी थी मेरे बच्चे ने मेरे ब्याह के ऊपर उन्हें दे दे. मैं बहुत बहुत शुक्राना करता. नाम नहीं पढ़ूंगा क्योंकि बेशुमार नाम है गिने. I'm overwhelmed with the people who actually give their blessings. Raj and Benita, your dad's there for you 100% whenever you need me. I think in the end we should say goodbye and see you soon in the very near future.
Absolutely.
See you
See
soon
you
and
soon.
stay safe. Thank you very much for
Stay
having
safe.
us.
This is
Yeah,
important.
don't
Don't
forget to
stay
Freedom
safe.
Day हैगा. Please stay safe. Sare Sri Akaal ji.
Sat Sri
Sat
Akal.
Sri Akal.